AITA for not checking my F28 car sooner for my friend's F28 passport.
So this happened a couple of days ago, but it's been on/off playing on my mind and I don't know if I'm TA or not. My boyfriend moved into my place a few months ago, but we've been taking the move slowly, decorating the spare room to be his game room, etc. We've both been on annual leave this week, specifically to spend time together as my boyfriend works night shift 2 weeks of the month and we wanted to progress the move a bit more. We planned that on Wednesday, we'd visit his parents to collect the main items of furniture, desk, tables, lamps, and some clothes. Here is where the issue starts. My friend, F28, messaged me at 8:45 in the morning to ask me to check if her passport was in my car, as she thinks she lost it when our friends were all out together and her bag tipped over in my car, spilling everything inside it.
I should point out that this night out was over 2 months ago in March, and this is the first time she's asked about the passport. I didn't see the message straight away as my boyfriend and I were sleeping in a little. My friend knew I was off work on leave, and when we got up, we went straight into sorting things with the house to take rubbish to the dump before bringing more of his things over. She messaged again at 12 p.m. saying could I check this today because she needed to go for a new one tomorrow. So I messaged back at that point to say that I had been in and out of my car a lot since that night, including going in and out the back of the car with my dog, and I hadn't seen a passport, but that of course I would check again and have a more thorough look. This is where I might be TA. My boyfriend and I drove through to his parents and I forgot to check the back of the car properly before leaving. When we arrived an hour later, taking separate cars for space, my dog, 8-month-old male, had an accident in the back seat and peed everywhere. He's never done anything like it before, so it was surprising. I had to stop at the nearest shop to get cleaning supplies, then I cleaned my car out in the middle of a retail car park while ensuring my dog was safe. Then I drove to my boyfriend's parents' house where I immediately checked the back of my car, but as I suspected there was no passport. I messaged my friend to let her know after I'd checked, which didn't happen until 4:45 p.m. but I apologized for this, saying it had been a hectic day. My friend messaged me back saying, I would have appreciated hearing that earlier tbh. I get it's busy, but it would have taken 5 minutes. I've spent the whole day hoping it was there so I could avoid changing our flights. Thanks for checking X.
I was a bit shocked, and I know this friend can be quite prickly at times, but I thought I'd completed the favor she asked, which was to check that day, and I did. I also feel like I had my own plans that day that were important, and I did give her a strong indication earlier in the day that it wasn't there. AITA because I didn't check my car sooner? Edit. Some commenters seem to think my friend is going on a trip soon, and to be honest, I have absolutely no idea if she is. She asked me to check that day saying, because I need to go for a new one tomorrow. So I assumed she was getting a new passport. She only mentioned changing the flights when I told her the passport wasn't in my car. I have no other information regarding her situation other than this. Anyone else totally expecting that the dog had peed on the passport? Nah, you both could have done things differently. She could have called if it was really important, or conveyed the urgency better. You could have taken a minute to check your car since you knew she was looking for it.
NTA, you didn't see the message right away. Then you saw it but were in the middle of something. You forgot. It happens. As you said, she dumped her purse in your car 2 months ago, and just waited to ask until it was urgent. This one is in your friend. It was 2 months ago.
In Ta, she could have called you if she wanted to know that urgently. She could have driven over to look herself while you guys were busy at one of the houses. Sounds to me like she's just upset because she screwed up and is taking it out on you. NTA, failure to plan on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. She was missing her passport for months and then decided it was an emergency and everyone needed to drop what they were doing to check. You checked when you remembered. NTA. You still checked on the same day. She asked for you to check that day, didn't specify a time, and then complained that you should have answered sooner. Nothing in this story indicates she would have been able to do anything about starting the process of getting a new passport if she'd found out earlier that same day. Interesting to find an AITA where the consensus is split. Usually it's a runaway. I'm thinking NTA. You checked within 5 hours of reading her texts. You could have had literally anything going on that day. She's lucky you were even available. It is not your problem that she created this emergency. You didn't blow her off either. And don't even get me started on the concept of a phone call. If this was such an urgent situation and you aren't getting a response, pick up the phone. People are so helpless these days. Putting in the bare minimum effort and then crying when it doesn't go to plan. Give me a break. Definitely NTA. Not only did they not bother asking you to check until last minute when you already have all this other stuff you're doing, but they were already planning to get a new one the next day. That means they're already planning for it to be completely lost. Why would it matter what time you checked your car? Let's play through a few scenarios. 12 p.m. Hey, I checked and it's not there. Friend is going to get a new passport the next day. 4 p.m. Hey, I checked and it's not there. Friend is going to get a new passport the next day. 9 p.m. Hey, I checked and it's not there. Friend is going to get a new passport the next day. There's no reason for your friend to act like that. NTA. She's the one who left it to the last minute to ask. Last time I had to move furniture, do a dump run after I moved apartments. I forgot to eat. Days when you're doing jobs like that are insanely busy. But you still got back to her by the end of the day. NTA. You are busy with your own stuff. I get it's important and she was worrying. Sure, it would have only taken 5 minutes. But you had other stuff going on and you did look that day. I don't think it was right of her to passive-aggressively text you like that, but I can understand. She was worried and frustrated. But she needs to realize other people can't always just drop what they're doing. You apologized it was late and explained. It sounds like she was going to get a new one anyway. I guess having the old one would just speed up the process? But it wouldn't make much of a difference to the process time, which is a few weeks at least. AITA. I think this is something you guys can just sweep under the rug. You apologized and explained. She thanked you and honestly said that she was a bit frustrated. I don't think this is anything to make into an issue or anything. Just maybe send another text saying you understand her point of view. NTA. A-hole? No. Could you have been nicer and checked right away? Yes. If the friend knew it was missing for this long and procrastinated on asking you to check, then it's her problem. Her procrastination does not mean that you have to drop everything. NTA. Her passport is not your responsibility. You checked, just not as fast as she wanted. NTA. Friend asked you to check that day. And you did. She didn't suggest any urgency. Just that she needed to make an appointment to get a new one. There was nothing on you. If someone has their passport on a night out, it is their responsibility to make sure it is still with them the next day. She could have dealt with this months ago. NTA. It definitely would have been nice to have done it right away. But also she waited 2 months and didn't communicate how urgent her request was. Seems like the comments are a bit divided. I'll go with NTA. For a couple reasons. First of all, the passport had been lost for 2 months apparently. Even if you don't have immediate travel plans, you should always try to check if all your documents are there after a night out. Especially if you tipped your bag over at some point. Second, you had plans. Big plans. You checked your car. You saw it wasn't there. Checking again is a courtesy, not a necessity. If it were your friend, should have made plans to make sure. Called if she thought it was taking long or anything really. Alas, she didn't. Her responsibility in the end really. So NTA. Seriously. She realized a day before she needed it that it might be in your car. This is on her. Life doesn't stop because she got herself into a bind. NTA, you said you'd check that day and you did. If she needed you to check immediately, then she should have said this. It's ridiculous that she left it so last minute to even ask about her passport. NTA, I am honestly so surprised to see so many YTA votes. Your friend, knowing she had a trip coming up, waited 2 months to figure out where her passport was. You were having a crazy busy day and couldn't get to it until the afternoon. Her lack of preparation should not equal an emergency on your part. Edited to clarify my vote. I started reading comments and was blown away. NTA. She's going on a trip that requires a passport. Knew she lost it, and waited to the last minute to ask for help. She didn't fully inform you about the trip. So how were you supposed to know how important it was? She also knew you had a busy day. When does the understanding go both ways? This is a passport. She didn't lose her class schedule. Or an appointment card. A passport. She should have been way more concerned and proactive about this the last 2 months. Also, how far away does she live? If she was expecting to find it that day, maybe she should have dropped by, since she would need to collect it from you anyway if it was there. So she either wasted a bunch of time, or was she expecting you to drop it off to her on your busy moving day? At the end of the day, this was her responsibility, not yours. And it's not your fault she waited until the last minute, exactly when you weren't in a position to help. It's bad timing. And yay, maybe you could have done it sooner. But she could have also texted you maybe a couple days earlier when she wasn't hours away from getting a new passport. NTA. Do people on Reddit just sit around and do nothing while waiting for their phone to go off? Half my days off start with my kid watching videos on my phone and him intentionally ignoring calls, texts that interrupt his screen time. Totally understandable to not see a text for a few hours. And if I wasn't specifically told, hey, I'm screwed, my flight is going to need to be moved, please check ASAP, then yeah, it's not gonna be a priority. I might respond, then start talking to my wife, then get busy doing laundry, etc., etc. If anyone needs something from me ASAP, I expect them to call me and explain the situation. Or text with details. A casual text saying, could you check today? I need a new one tomorrow. Is not enough info or urgency to make it a top priority. People get busy, caught up in their own life, forget, procrastinate, etc. NTA. I feel like people saying otherwise are just like your friend and have probably done something like that too. It happened several months ago, so obviously you wouldn't assume it was in your car. She chose to wait to the last minute to message you. You didn't see the first message and you were busy during the other one. Life happens and you get distracted. At least you eventually did look. It's crazy that anyone thinks you're an AH.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.